Looks like Reed Sheppard's definitely a starter now, unless Udoka sees a matchup that he doesn't particularly like. And I'm wondering if he's maximized Ben as a starter, since so much of the offense is Durant and Şengün to start the game. They don't tend to run much for Reed Sheppard, and he defers his offense when he plays with those two guys. Do you optimize him more in bench units? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm torn. I think for this week, my preference would be with the schedule being fairly friendly, would be to keep starting Reed just to get more data points. Because even with Reed struggling last night, the Rockets still should have won that game, Robert. If they had their normal juice defensively, if they took the game seriously in the first 34 minutes, even with Reed struggling defensively, some of that I think is a team construct not being as strong as it was the day before. And Reed, a lot of his threes, they missed short. Well, across the board, the Rockets had a lot of shots that were short runs, which typically indicates fatigue being an issue. But against a team like the Jazz, and I think the same can be said for the Kings and maybe the Mavs, although the Mavs are tougher with Anthony Davis, the Rockets have enough of a buffer. I think you can gather more data points on how Reed functions alongside the starters. And then, you can sort of compare and contrast. Here's the version of Reed you had when he was higher usage off the bench. Here's how he fit as more of a complementary piece alongside the four entrenched starters. And then as the schedule gets more difficult, starting the 15th of December, you've got 2 road games in Denver, the 15th and the 20th. You've got the Lakers on Christmas. You've got the Cavaliers right after Christmas. And a lot of those games are going to be on the road. That's the point where I think you need to be a little more cutthroat in terms of trying to optimize every minute, every margin when it comes to how you deploy your rotations. Right now, like there's a lot of value. If Fred isn't able to come back, and as we just talked about, I think that's the odds-on likely scenario, then it behooves the Rockets to find out exactly what the limits of Reed Sheppard are so that they can factor that into their decision making at the trade deadline in early February. He's looked good as a sixth man. How does it hold up in a starting role if you think you might need that? If it looks like you want Amen Thompson to play a little bit more off ball, or at least to have that option, so you want another ball handler in the starting lineup?